Jeremy here with Cast Blast Grill Chill Podcast. Going to do a little cooking video for you today showing you my venison pan roast with potatoes, onions, and carrots. What I like to start out doing is getting everything ready to go in the pan for the roast. Take my onions, cut them into rings. Take my potatoes, cut them into fourths. Take my baby carrots and cut them in half. Okay guys, we're going to start by cutting our onion into rings. Next, we're going to cut our potatoes into fourths. And place them all in a bowl. Next, I'm going to take a couple cloves of garlic and just kind of smash them up to put in here. Ceramic knife doesn't do a very good job of that. And then all I take and just put a light little mince on. Next, take your baby carrots. And I like to cut them just simply in half. Next, you take your vegetable mixture, set it off to the side for the pan that you're going to go ahead and roast your venison roast in, and get ready for the next step. Next thing I like to do is take my venison roast. I've had it in the fridge for a couple days, sitting here on a rack where it can get it, final age and dry out a little bit. Next, I'm going to season it up with my favorite seasonings. I like the Fiesta brand seasonings. I'm going to use a little bit of their Texas style steak seasoning. It's a big cut of meat. You're going to need a good amount of seasoning to really get it in there. I've already trimmed most of the tallow and silver skin off of this. I didn't get it all, but it's going to cook up and be real nice and tender. It'll actually cook the vast majority of that off of it. And I'm a pretty big fan of paprika, so I'm going to use a little bit more paprika all over this. I'm going to take 3 of these garlic cloves right here. Go ahead and smash them. Cut off the little seedy end. And then I'm going to cut them in half. And I'm going to take me and poke me some holes in here and shove these little garlic bits actually down in the meat. Okay, so the next step is to take and sear off your roast in your pan. So the way you start by doing that is to add just a little bit of oil to the bottom of your pan. Go ahead and put it on a medium-high heat. Let your pan come up to temperature, and then go ahead and sear your roast off. Okay, so the next step, once your oil has come up to temperature, you're going to take your roast. I like to put a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper on top of it first, and pat it in. And then you add your roast to the pan. It is going to be, if it doesn't make a good searing sound, your oil's not hot enough. Let it go for about a minute on each side. You want to develop a nice, good brown crust on the outside. That's the trick to keeping the juices on the inside of it, and also for that good, delicious flavor once it's done. Then you want to take it and flip it. See that good sear? And let it go again for about another minute. Okay, and after you've gone for about that next minute, you want to take it and flip it up on its end. You get that other side and hold it there with your tongs. And let it go again. And then you're going to take it and do it one more to that last side. Once you've got it seared on all 4 sides, take and turn your heat down to low. And you've got all these good little bits of stuff down in the bottom. And what I like to do then is take my onions, make sure they're all ringed out real good. And take and toss them in with that remaining oil. Take them, stir them around a little bit. But you still got to deglaze this pan because all that good flavor is down there on the bottom. And that's where your beef broth comes in. Bring it back up to a medium heat and just keep stirring around until you get all those little good flavor bits up off the bottom. Just kind of scrape it and pull them around. I also like to occasionally use a beer for doing that instead of beef broth, something like a Shiner Bock. Alright, once you got all that going in there like that, okay, once you've got your onions and your beef broth there, or your beer, whichever you prefer, come back and take your carrots and your potatoes and your garlic and gently add them back to here, trying to make sure you get all that good salt and flavors out of there. and kind of coat the bottom of the pan. Then you go back and add your roast on top of there and make a nice little bed for it to go in. I like to, just before I lid it off, take some Uncle Chris's Gourmet Steak Seasoning and shake it right across the top for just that little bit of extra flavor to cook in. Then you take your lid, you put it in your preheated 225-degree oven for 2.5 to 3.5 hours, depending on the size of roast. And I like to cook it to an internal temperature of about 135 to 145, and then pull it out and let it rest for about 30 minutes before you slice. So like I said, you put it in your oven, lit it up for about 2.5 to 3.5 hours. We'll check on it then.